Did H&K just pull a Miller Lite or a Bud Light here?
You're welcome as can be. MICKEYMOUSE.
What's up, guys? John Claymore here, Short Timer Prepping, and we have got to talk about this situation with H&K because, yeah, as you guys are seeing right here, I have put up a tweet from H&K. That tweet was deleted. Now, before we go any further, I want to show you something really quick. Of course, this right here is to address the whole gun bunnies thing, and apparently they're saying, look, we don't want to use women to help market our product, but I'm going to be talking about why that is the case, why it is a lot of times gun bunnies are oftentimes used to help out with certain companies, especially pushing products. And of course, the person in charge of marketing, as you guys are seeing right here, is, yeah, it's not like this person here has not done this before. Now, guys, Miller Lite released an ad the other day basically going after the males who drank their beer. Of course, they decided to use the whole, and don't worry, I'll leave these videos right in the description box for you guys to see. They're on my main channel, John Claymore. This right here, of course, Short Timer Prepping is my more military-related, more prepping-based channel. But still, at the same time, though, I oftentimes will sometimes bring topics from over there over here. But I'll be explaining that more at the end of the week when we have a subscriber special video, of course, for Claymore, which I'll be releasing over here on Short Timer Prepping. It'll be the last video that I can release on both channels, as well as 3 more. So I'm going to try to double things up here over the course of this week. So make sure you guys stick around. So I got wind of this, believe it or not, from Jeremy at the quartering. Let me go ahead and show you this.
I was into the conversation by saying, pew pew bunnies, no. Beer bunnies, no. These are people who are like models that are hired at like conventions to sell products, right? Supporting women, 100%. Yeah, emojis. Now when I see emojis, I just assume, uh-oh, donut. He says MP7, Zane Palmer here. I'm just here for the ratio. Embarrassing tweet for a company that makes products that ends people. Supporting women by making your PDWs readily available at an affordable price. Here's the thing. H&K is a brand that is very, by and large, viewed as a luxury brand, a very expensive product. There are better weapons, in my opinion, available for less money. When you go with H&K, you're paying for a little luxury tax, like going with a Kimber or something like that, right? You're going for a little higher end stuff, but which makes it so much easier to turn away from it. You can see I'm not into these bunnies anyway, but I'm really not into companies trying to be my mom. Weapon Outfitter comes in with some nice bunnies here. Supporting women except for the hot ones in bikinis. Whoops. I mean, just getting absolutely destroyed. Heckler and Koch. And then what do they do? Like all great companies mired in this type of hullabaloo. Well, they argue and triple down on their position because this is what it's all about. Wow, woke. So somebody replied, so if any of you guys feel the need to get rid of your 416s, 417s, imported roller, blah, 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 HK has gone woke, let me know. So they quote tweet a customer, potentially, and say, wow, woke, allow me to translate. Ooh, this is going so good. Objectifying women was never a good marketing strategy. Bull. 100 years of marketing proves you wrong. Now, I assume that...
Really quick, guys, it's never a good idea to share or retweet something from a customer. That kind of tells me that this person has got a very, very, very bloated ego. Then again, though, I wonder where she got that from. Now, Jeremy, of course, would make a follow-up video. I'm going to put both of them in the description box as well as the videos that I did on Miller and Bud Light. But here's the thing that really bothers me is the fact that you actually retweeted something that came from a customer. Maybe instead of retweeting what customers say, maybe you should allow the complaints to come in and see what actually happens first before you decide to pass some form of judgment. Also, one more thing, too, about Jeremy. He would assert that possibly it was like the niece or nephew of somebody who actually typed that up. But then again, though, at the same time, though, of course, you guys know that it was actually the person in charge of marketing. I just figured I'd throw that out. Quick, I'm not an H&K guy. I understand why somebody may want to get an H&K. I understand why somebody may want to pay the extra money to get a Kimber. Me personally, I'm more of a Glock SIG kind of guy, and also when it comes to rifles, I personally prefer Savage Arms. Then again, though, I haven't exactly evolved from that. I remember when I worked at the gun store that I did work at for over a year, which was actually a pretty big retailer. Let's just say that they actually sold pistols. The last part of the name, or the second half of the name, is Hams or Hums, or however you might want to pronounce it. I advise if you just simply type that in there, you'll probably find a place that starts with a D and ends on a Hams note. I don't know why the world I included that in there, but that was the company that I worked for over a year. The Ruger LC9s, I had people complain to me about how the weapon operated. They didn't like it. I heard a lot of very negative things on that one. I even heard a lot of negative reviews on the M&P series. And, of course, anything that was coming out from Smith & Wesson that was magazine fed. If you guys can, leave me your personal story. Or if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section. Fact of the matter is that H&K has always seemed to be more of a type of, and I do agree, maybe more of a luxury type brand, kind of like Kimber. You're going to pay a little bit extra, and so I never really saw the need to actually pay the additional money for it. I always felt like, I can get something just as good for a little bit less money, especially given the fact that, how do I put this right here? Instead of buying a Kimber 1911, I probably would have been more inclined to buy a Springfield. Not saying that I own one, not saying that I don't own one. I don't tell people what I own and what I do not own. I've only ever done one video where I showcased a firearm, and I took that video down shortly after because I didn't need people to know what type of two pistols that I had. It was a gun. It was basically what it was a difference between two different firearms and which one was actually better. It was trying to base things on economy versus actual pricing, like what you can get more for your money, which was actually much more economical value. Fact of the matter is that H&K has always came off more as like a bit of a higher end brand, and I've always thought that you could probably get something just as good for a little bit less money. That's just always been me. But still, at the same time, though, it's not a good idea to retweet complaints from customers. Also, something else too, it's not a good idea to take this stance, even in all the ESG stuff going on. It's just not a good idea to take this stance, especially coming from someone who, quite frankly, at one point in time was very, very much a gun bunny. And to go on top of that, there, as you guys saw earlier, the tweets have been deleted. Now, Heckler and Koch has they've been trying to walk this back. They've been trying to basically say, look, we messed up, we made a mistake, and if they were able to own that and move forward, then okay. Even though it does say a policy was violated, which I'm just a little bit confused by this. But here's the thing, though. You have to be cognizant of your actual audience. Now, this channel right here in Nature was supposed to be originally basically a 2A channel for 2A updates, and just things just happen, and I just kind of like completely overestimated my ability to do things. For that, I apologize. There were even dead spots in both this channel and the Claymore channel, which, by the way, you guys will have the links to those channels. We have the links to that channel when you guys go to the Miller Lite and the Bud Light videos in the description box. But the thing is, right here, you have to be cognizant of your audience. Now, Miller Lite right now, they are taking a beating because they decided to go after men and say, look, we're not going to be posing in bikinis anymore, and we're like the founders of the beer company and all that stuff there and all that woke nonsense we have to hear all the time. And then, of course, you go to firearms, and you got to think to yourself, I don't think that the firearms industry is a good place to push this woke stuff. Now, I understand some people may be upset because I use the quartering, but, of course, the quartering, he is the one who brought up the whole Black Rifle Coffee article to about the New York Times. I want to say he was the one that originally brought the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing. So every now and again, Jeremy will get things correct. I have to give him credit for that. But here's the deal. When you are a gun company or a gun manufacturer, like any other business, you need to be cognizant of those who, quite frankly, you are trying to push your product out. I don't think that lady basically saying that we're no longer going to go with gun bunnies when herself was, in fact, a gun bunny at one point in time is not a good look. Let me go ahead and kind of break this down for you guys. I did my time in the military, grew up shooting guns, whatnot. Not really a gun nut, not a gun expert. There are a lot of people out here who are much better with firearms. Colin Noir, I think, is better at explaining, definitely a lot better at explaining 2A topics. Iraq veteran 888, he's good at it. There are a lot of people out there, Guns and Gear, Mr. Guns and Gear, who else? Garantham. Obviously, I don't have the facilities to go outside and just fire off rifle rounds one after the other, but I appreciate these guys doing this because they not only they provide us knowledge, they provide us entertainment, they provide us great info, especially on firearms. And you do have some other channels, which, by the way, are ran by women who also are very good in the 2A community. As I think I said in a previous video that I'll try to link in the description box, I do believe that women, in fact, do need to be armed. I do want women to take up the Second Amendment themselves because, quite frankly, the women who are taking up the Second Amendment will obviously be much, much better soldiers in the future against the SJW soy boy communist invasion that they plan on releasing. As I have said about our military going completely woke, it does not look like this effort is going to work in the future because obviously SJWs would much rather burn down their country than rather burn down someone else's. It's a completely mindless effort. But still, at the same time, though, they still very, very much are intent on burning down the nation. And I'm pretty sure that I would take, let's just put it this way here, I would take 3 2A chicks over 30 in that SJ Army any day of the week. I'm just saying that, not trying to sound like a pro woman or anything. I love ladies, but still at the same time though, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will probably admit deep down, say, hey, look, man, my wife, man, my girlfriend is way tougher than this soy boy named Vosh or Destiny, who's like 5'3" and lets his wife bang other dudes. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm coming from with this. Fact of the matter is that you use gun bunnies to help market a product to young men. Now, why in the world is this important? Well, you see, those young men need to do manly things, and of course that includes hunting and fishing. And by the way, you can't really hunt. You can hunt with a bow and arrow, of course, but obviously a firearm, a rifle, is probably going to be the first thing that you're going to learn about, whether it be a 22, a 17 HMR, that type of stuff there. So obviously young men need to learn to shoot. Well, one of the ways you can properly market that is by using chicks who shoot. Now, granted, not all of these gun bunnies are in fact girls that shoot, but still at the same time though, if you go to Instagram, you see a lot of ladies up there who are actually taking up the Second Amendment. Now, some of these girls, of course, are walking around in extremely skimpy clothes or thong bikinis or whatnot. I'm pretty sure we all love that. I mean, this right here is a primarily male-driven channel, but still at the same time, though, it's very important to have this. It helps get the product out the door. It helps gauge interest. Even though we're looking at some hot chick to do so, it still gauges interest in the product. There are some men out there who, quite frankly, are more interested in the gun than they are the girl, but still at the same time, though, it does, in fact, do what? It gauges interest. It gets people wondering what it would be like to fire a rifle. It gets people wondering, what exactly does the Second Amendment cover? What was it about? It's actually pretty well important that these companies like this do not go woke. And of course, I have said on several occasions, and I'll say that here and now, buy local. I understand many of you may not be drinking Miller anymore. Many of you may not be drinking Bud Light anymore. I gave up Anheuser-Busch, believe it or not, back in 2017 because I wanted to quit drinking. But in order for me to do that, let's just put it this way here, it was kind of a gateway for me to quit drinking. For whatever reason, I thought that if I started drinking Miller and then just stupid stuff, and then eventually I just kind of gave Miller up probably about a couple of years ago when I found out that they were going woke with the whole inclusionary statements. And now I just drink Yingling or whatever local product I can, just very small amounts. But then again, though, who knows what's going to happen here in the near future? It seems to me like everybody is going woke once again. And of course, Pride Month is in about 2 weeks, so I'm pretty sure you guys are probably going to see some more extremely weird, extremely crazy stuff. Fact of the matter is, this right here is not a good look for Heckler and Koch, and they obviously screwed up not realizing that their audience is a predominantly male audience, which, by the way, at the same time, or primarily a male consumer, that would be very, very interested in buying their product. Now somebody's going to say they'd be interested in buying the product even without the gun bunnies. And my response to that right there is, okay, cool, you may have a point there, but what's the best way to market to young men, especially those who may be considering going to college, to maybe one of those woke indoctrination camps that may actually stop them from doing that? I don't know, maybe take them to a gun show where there are a lot of beautiful gun bunnies there. Oh God, this chick right here shoots. My God, she's kind of hot. Oh my God, she is better at handling that firearm than I am. Next thing you know, you're motivated to learn about the Second Amendment. Next thing you know, you're motivated to actually pick up a rifle and take up the great fine art of shooting. I know you're probably thinking that this right here is a little bit hyperbolic, but I personally believe that this is actually very important because obviously, while you have a military that is going through a social justice warrior phase, and you're going through woke indoctrination, there is a way to keep somebody from being so indoctrinated, or possibly a way to protect them from indoctrination. And one of the ways you can do that is teach them good old-fashioned manly things. One of those, of course, would be hunting, fishing, sports, sportsmanship outdoors. Okay, and let's just be honest. Using gun bunnies walking around in thong bikinis is one way to gauge their interest. I think this was obviously a mistake by Heckler and Koch. Now, even though, like I said, it's probably not going to be that big of one in the long run, but it looks to me like they may be learning their lesson. Guys, John Claymore here, short timer prepping here. Guys, buy local, all that stuff here. Let me go ahead and end the video on this right here. On Friday and Saturday, you're probably going to see not just the subscriber video that's going to have some updates, which, by the way, is a Claymore video that I'm going to be putting on here on Short Timer Prepping because it's going to include updates for both channels. You're also going to see my parts 3 and 4 on the gun series that I had planned to do. And, of course, there's going to be a video on the Second Amendment itself probably coming out next week in the form of a project. Its origins, its roots, all that good stuff there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I did do some videos on that topic at a previous date. But let's just say that I wanted to kind of redo that, revisit those takes, and kind of present a little bit more evidence, especially based on the information that we have today rather than what was 2 years ago. Guys, if I've earned your subscription, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I would really and truly appreciate that. Also, hit the notifications bell. Please hit the like button. If I've earned that, please do that. Please leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.